My name is Erin and I'm a writer. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining. I am so very excited to announce that I am not doing not one, but tackling two projects starting NaNoWriMo. However, my second project will not be a novel. It will be instead a musical, which I am really excited about. You know what that means, don't you? We'll have to do a lot more planning. The second project in making the word count goal 30 words, but in reality, I know that means to write 30 songs. Just one song per day. This is actually a big challenge as I've never accomplished writing an entire musical before or even remotely even close to actually finishing it. But I'm really excited to add the extra challenge while also continuing my current working project, which is called A Universe Without Us. My goal is to finish planning my novel this week and then use the last week of the month to finish planning my musical, or at least to plan the first half of it. So my goal is kind of now to Save the Cat, writes novel Act 2 and Act 3. We're gonna finish up Save the Cat outlining today, and then we're gonna move on to the next method. First off, I'm gonna start with reading the excerpts from the Act 2. It's gonna be number 6 through number 12. We're just going to go ahead and dive right into that. Remember that the percentages is where it's supposed to be at that point in your book. Okay, number 6. Break into two, 20%. The moment the hero decides to set the call to action, leave their comfort zone, try something new, or venture into a new world, a new way of thinking. It's a decisive action B that separates the status quo of World of Act 1 from the new upside down world of Act 2. 7. B story, 22%. The introduction of a new character or characters who will ultimately serve to help the hero learn the theme, also referred to as a help character. It's a new love interest, a nemesis, a mentor, family member, or a friend. 8. Fun and games, 20 to 50%. This is where we see the hero in their new world. They're either loving it or hating it, succeeding or plundering. Also called the promise of the premise, the section represents the book of the story, or the hook of the story, why the reader picked up the novel in the first place. 9. Midpoint, 50%. Literally in the middle of the novel, where the fun and games culminates in either a false victory, the hero's thus far with succeeding, or a false defeat, the hero's thus far with plundering. Something should change. Something should happen here to raise the stakes and push the hero towards real change. 10. Bad guys close in. 50% to 75%. If the midpoint was a false victory, the section would be a downward path where things get progressively worse for the hero. If the midpoint was a false defeat, the section would be the upward path where things seem to get progressively better for the hero. Regardless of the path, the hero's deep-rooted flaws or internal bad guys are closing in. 11. All is lost. 75%. Lowest point of the novel. An action B where something happens to the hero that combined with the internal bad guys pushes the hero to rock bottom. 12. Dark Night of the Soul. 75 to 80%. A reaction B where the hero takes time to process everything that's happened this far. The hero should be worse off than the start of the novel. The darkest hour just before the dawn is a moment right before the hero figures out the solution to the big problem and learns a theme or life lesson. Okay, so actually you want to start with the characters kind of like accepting the call to action, leaving their comfort zone, understanding that like the world has changed around them and that they are leaving their status quo world and trying to go up to this new kind of upside down world where things have changed. And then you're going to end with it being like their lowest point. They're they're not sure quite what their plan is going to be now they failed or or things have gotten like progressively worse for them. Now to Act 3. 13. Break into 80%. The aha moment. The hero realizes what they must do not only to fix all of their problems created in the Act 2, but more important, fix themselves. The arc is nearly complete. 14. Finale. 80% to 99%. The hero proves they have truly learned the theme and act plan they came up with in Break 2 Intro 3. Bad guys destroyed, plots conquered, lovers are united. Not only is the hero's world saved, but it's a better place than it was before. 15. Final image. 99 to 100%. A mirror to the opening image. This is the after snapshot of who the hero is after going through their epic and satisfying transformation. So for that part, you want to start with them coming up with the new plan of what they're going to do to kind of beat the bad guy, save the day, figure out things, and then you're going to go with them learning the theme, And then you're going to have an image of who they are after everything that's happened. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and dive right into plotting the Act 2. Here's what it says. Some new nugget of information are happening and finally pushes your hero to leave. Stop asking questions and chase the goal mentioned in previously. Describe the information or event that finally forces him to leave. So for me, Sam finds out that her sister is actually dead, that she hasn't lost her mind, and realizes that her revenge is the same as saving the world. In this case, she's chasing the same bad guys as they're trying to chase. Next is the B story, the moments of learning. The need is what fixes your hero's life and repairs the things that need fixing. The need is slowly learned over the course of your story and becomes the focus of the B story. Someone is instrumental in fixing that flaw. A good place to look to is that symbol character who's living the need, or maybe they're an actual girl or a service. Maybe someone your hero already knows or someone they met because of all the sudden chaos started in the catalyst. Describe this person and elaborate on how, over the course of the story, this character helps the hero be the living embodiment of that self-help that we talked about earlier. That's probably it is. You guys don't know what I'm talking about when it says, but I can do that part. So for me, I have two potential characters. That would be like the mentor of sorts. One is Ariel, who reminds Sam of her mother, of Ariel's mother, who was the one who wanted to protect Sam from the prophecy in the first place because of her sense of morality and justice. Um, and then there's Jazz, who literally is afraid of her powers and refuses to speak because she's afraid of like she's afraid of hurting people because her power is like she can control people's she can control people with her voice. So she's gonna learn somehow there's limits to like how much they can do, and like Sam's gonna end up seeing that she needs to be more in control of her powers because if she doesn't stop while she's ahead, she's gonna end up hurting somebody cares about. The next prompt is, are there any moments in your story that might force your hero to consider they've been doing things the wrong way? Maybe they see an example of living differently that they admire. Maybe their flaws harm someone or someone they care about. So this is kind of why Jazz is a big mentor for her, because this is what happens. Sam loses control of her powers and hurts someone she cares about. I'm not gonna spoil the character name, but this makes her see that she's in the wrong. Okay, and 3. What are some moments that make What are some moments that happen in their story that cause your hero to remember the start of class? Perhaps some things hit a little close to home. Write them down. And we're actually going to take a moment to go back to the start of class, because I don't think I discussed that part because it was before like the beauty area. It says, why does your character have this flaw? What horrible thing happened in their past caused them to be so flawed? Write your hero's chart of glass. And on the pages before that, there's a flaw listing, like it said, and there was a flaw box so you can like enter like what your character's biggest flaw is. For me, my character is stuck in the future, which isn't on the list. They're stuck in the past, but I changed it to future because it makes sense for my novel. So for my character, her chart of glass is that she survived the end of the world alone. Okay, now that we figured out the chart of glass, we're gonna go back to that prompt. It said um I already read it, but for her it's gonna be creating Ember reminds her of the war and the vision she's been avoiding thinking about. Okay, and the fourth prompt for that section is, are there any single events of your hero's life that would be so painful they might cause your hero to finally tear out that chart of glass? And for her, it's gonna be the act of losing them all again. Of almost losing them all again. Right. Next, we're gonna keep diving into the B story, but this time it's called Meet Your New Best Friend. It says, now that we've identified the B story character, how does your hero meet them? Or if they already know them, what's the first inkling in the story that this person may play a very important role? Let me describe particularly the B story described here. So for me, they already know them. And again, they're at 2 potential choices, and I'm writing them both down until I figure out which one I like more. Maybe I'll incorporate both of them. One, it's Ariel. Sam finds out she's immune to her power. That's the moment that she realizes that this character is going to be important to her stopping the apocalypse and like uh yeah. Two, it's Jazz. Sam finds out she chooses not to speak in fear of hurting others the way she was hurt. So yeah. Next section of the fun games section is back to the main story. The hero has a goal, but what's the plan? Given your hero's flawed mindset and unique traits, give a few examples of how they try to overcome the obstacles and achieve the goal. What are your hero's first motives to win the day? So her first motive is revenge, and she's going to try to figure out the villain's weakness and agree to join the dark side to figure out the plan. Next section is the problems. What are things that get in the way of these initial maneuvers? Does the villain have some surprises along the way? Does your hero turn out to be a little lacking? Something come on the way and throw everything away? For me, it's Sam is her own worst enemy, meaning she'll do whatever it takes to win without caring about herself. So she's gonna put herself at risk a lot. She's gonna be impulsive and um she's going to be willing to take the bullet for others and will not care if she lives or dies, and she's gonna not be like she's not gonna be a good leader, even though she's supposed to be the leader. Next one is list a few bumps or a big surprise that your hero hit while trying to win the day. Remember, she makes the obstacles really, really hard. She's gonna lose a mentor. And then she's gonna see herself hurt someone else and realize that she's beginning to enjoy the feeling of hurting people, getting back at them, being destructive and impulsive and terrifying. She's going to like that people are afraid of her. She's gonna start getting addicted to that feeling. The next section is the trailer moments of the fun and games part. Question: who's your ideal audience member? For me, I don't know who my ideal audience member is. I think, I mean, I know exactly who I'm writing this book, like who I'm dedicating it to because like they kind of like gave me the idea to write this book. Um, so I wrote to those who dream of magic and for Hazel who was magic. Okay, so the next section is the actual trailer moments. What are some moments in your story that your ideal audience member will love? Fill this page with them. These moments may appear anywhere in your story, but most of them will usually slot into your fun and game section. So, they're gonna start to see things changing, like the end of the world, like things are gonna start falling apart, trees are gonna start dying, people are gonna start disappearing, all of that, and there's gonna be a big plot twist, but I'm not gonna say what it is. And then they're gonna start seeing like the tacos and magical world combine and see how like that influences each other. Okay, for the fun games B story check-in, is that it's during which the moments, how does your B story play out? What are the ups and downs of it? How does a B story help her play a part in the story during the fun games? And it also says, how does your hero's pet skills causing friction with the B story character and might be resisting any kind of teachable moments during the fun games? So the first part said, the B story character stops Sam from going too far. And also for the B story, Sam sees everyone has darkness in them and then it's not just her, and that's it. And that everybody has their own flaw and limit, and that everybody's trying to just do the best they can to save the world, even though they're all afraid that they're not going to be able to do that, they're not going to measure up. And then for how Sam's refusing or resisting any kind of teachable moments, I said. Sam refuses to accept their guidance, always seeing them dead when they see us too close to them, which makes her push them away. Okay, now we're done with the fun and games section, so we're going to move on to the midpoint section. So for the midpoint section, it says your hero is actually trying to achieve their goal. What is the first big win or first big defeat that chasing the goal stuff they've been doing from the games. Not the final victory, ultimate failure, but moments that give your hero a little swagger, a lot of doubt. And I'm not going to share what I wrote for that section because spoilers. But yeah, it's some good stuff. Here's the next section of the midpoint. It says, plot twist. The midpoint victory defeat was false. The victory would make things worse, and defeat wasn't as bad as it seemed. Go back to the list of first wins and then the second plot twist area. Describe how the win might not be a win, or how the defeat isn't such a loss, or in the big picture. Here is the midpoint false victory plot twist to consider. Stir the beast. Your hero has landed on the villain's radar, forced the villain to act against them. The villain is now focused on the hero. Ruh-roh. The killer unmasked. The villain or real conflict in the story is revealed to the hero, and their sinisterness or power makes the hero realize the struggle just got worse. Stuff gets personal. Your hero gets too close to that big story character. A kiss, a night of passion, a soulful mission, or a heartfelt hug. Now things are personal. Now there's something to lose. Something personal. The onion peels. A new piece of information is revealed, and achieving the goal team is much more difficult. Ugh. Tick, tick, tick. Time is running out. Now the clock is ticking. Your clock is ticking. You're going to have to move. Fast. All of the above. When you do all these things, or some, or make your own stake raisers. Now here are some midpoint false defeat plot twists to consider. A new hope. Your hero's fast turn leads to a new opportunity, be it career or social status or specific relationships. Euphemia. An important character sees the human side of a hero, or spots their potential. A new relationship is in bloom, or a relationship is taken to the next level. A reset moment. A new place, or a new clue or piece of information is revealed that offers a new path to victory, but a dangerous one. Game changer. A mind-blowing twist is revealed that changes everything. Rose pulled out from under your hero and will have to fight just to keep standing. Yeah. So plot twist. I love plot twists. So we're gonna go back and write those in those second columns that I didn't write up earlier because I knew we would have to skip it, but yeah. Next is a midpoint checklist. The story's midpoint twist minus 10 off the hero. Describe how your midpoint hits the hero with major stress. It also says midpoint often do several things. Check any of the optional or additional secrets below and give a quick description of the ones you check. And it says, B story process the A main story. Describe how things get more personal for your hero. Describe how cause your hero to take a good look at themselves. Describe how start a ticking clock either somehow the hero realizes a reminder that time is running out or use time limit to achieve the goal as opposed on the hero to describe how. Now is it for that section. Next section is the bad guys close in, shaking up the plan. Here's when the midpoint your hero is having some serious doubts about their old flawed ways. But their goal is still above those requirements. In the face of these new challenges, what are some ways the hero might approach to win the day? Next section says, internal bad guys, psychological ones are closing in. Things are more personal. The hero starts wondering, maybe I am flawed. Describe how the hero's internal strife is making things more difficult and how it might slow the tension with friends, allies, etc. The next section is all is lost. In regards to accomplishing the goal, what's the worst possible thing that could happen to your hero? What kind of soul-crushing loss might occur? A whiff of death is in the air. Someone's going to die at this place. Maybe it's the death of a dream or a hope. What is it? If you're not sure, list 10 horror things that could happen. Then circle your favorite. Okay, and then the next section is Dark Night of the Soul. It's raining outside. Your hero feels like giving up. The all is lost beat makes them question everything. Describe how your hero feels and what they're doing during this woe is me time. Maybe they're in mourning. Maybe they're curled with a ball. And the next section for that part is of Dark Night of the Soul is the journey. This is time when your hero reflects on that same state of being and finally realize their flaw. Write a little journal entry about what they're thinking. Okay, that is it for Act 2. We're gonna go ahead and dive right into Act 3 in just a few seconds. Uh, I would. I'm going to take this few minutes to reflect on how I'm feeling about Act Two. Write down any questions or thoughts or things, considerations I have, and just like make sure I'm like going back to them during uh like the plot and phase and like, so things I can answer before run and sunset. Okay, now for Act 3. Break into 3. Something happens that gives the hero hope they can win after all. Maybe they learn a new critical piece of information. Maybe some words from an acquaintance lift them up and inspire them. What stirs your hero to take on a new action? Why is there hope? Now for the finale. Inspired by the Breaking the 3 ballad, the hero takes action to win the day. What's the hero's new plan? Let's break it down into 5 steps that we like to call the 5-point finale. The first step. Gather the team. What's the big plan the hero thinks of to save the day? Who will your hero need to help them with the plan? What equipment or physical objects will they need? Does the hero need to gather any additional information or intel before the plan can start? If so, what? How will they get it? Is there any other preparation needed before they make their move? The rally speech. Write an inspiring words the hero uses to the team or says in the mirror to themselves. 2. Executing the plan. List some of the fun things we'll see as the hero's plan plays out. These might be exciting moments of their own. 3. High power surprise. Uh-oh, something goes horribly wrong. Maybe the villain had a surprise of their own. Maybe it was a trap, or maybe there's something the hero didn't account for. What happens? That screws everything up and ruins of the hero's big plan. Next one. Dig deep down. How does the stomach make the hero feel? Think back to the start of last. They're ready to pull that baby out. Why now? What has changed? And the last one. Execution of the new plan. The hero comes up with a new plan that they could never have come up with at the beginning of the story. Something they can only do now with their new outlook. What is it? Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and start filling out those sections for the finale, and that is all for the Act 2 and Act 3 of the Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. And so we're gonna end it here, and thanks so much all for joining and watching, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you. Bye.